Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about moon conjunct to Chiron in Synastry. So this Synastry aspect tends to be very deeply felt and somewhat triggering. The Chiron person can often be very triggered by the moon person's feminine energy. And the moon in our natal chart is such an instinctual, like natural part of ourselves. It's how we are emotionally, how we feel. It's kind of like our mothering energy, and it represents our inner child as well, and kind of like the childhood patterns, and what was happening in the early home life, right? So it's a very deep part of us. And when we have our moon conjunct to someone's Chiron, which is the wound and healing of that wound, and when we really find awareness of what that pain trigger is, it actually ends up being one of our gifts, one of our healing gifts, a part of our spiritual mission, a part of our purpose in life. But before that point, before the integration and the realization of what this wound is, it's really an ouch place. So the Chiron person can feel a lot of love and a lot of care for the moon person. Actually, this can go both ways, but the naturalness in expression, or like the emotional expression of the moon person and how they are emotionally, and like this very deep inner child feminine part of themselves, can be really triggering for the Chiron person. And the Chiron person can be even a bit jealous of the moon person. We could see this conjunction show up, or I've seen it show up actually, in where sometimes there's a trigger between like a sisterhood wound, like a jealousy among females, with this aspect where, often the Chiron person can be jealous of the feminine attributes or the mothering qualities or the emotional nature of the moon person. It's something that the Chiron person really knows, like they have this fated destiny to master that energy, right? But it's been so hard. It's been such a trigger point. It's been like, it's so raw, right? It's so vulnerable. And to see the moon person just behave as their natural self, their authentic self, is very potentially, triggering jealousy, or triggering it can also be positive, even a bit of like a fangirling kind of energy. And this can actually go both ways, because depending on what side of the wound of Chiron the Chiron person is on, the moon person can really actually have a lot of respect and have a lot of a feeling that like they're really similar with the Chiron person. And what's sad though that can happen is that the moon person feels really emotionally connected to the Chiron person. They feel like they found this, even like a guru, or like someone who they feel a similarity with, they feel a connection with, but they don't realize how much pain the Chiron person is in, and how the Chiron person actually reacts to them in like sometimes a jealous or triggered way, that the moon person can be a little bit unaware of that at times. So there's some interesting manifestations here. So that's, more on the negative side of what we can have manifest. Now, on the positive side of what we can have manifest is a deep feeling of emotional connection and support and healing the mother wound for both people, but specifically the moon person. If there is inner child wounds and there's something that is holding them back from childhood or from their early life, the Chiron person might just have the golden ticket out of that. And now that's if the Chiron person is operating from kind of like an evolved place with their Chiron. But so there really is this potential for like deep emotional connection and support and mothering of each other. That's like the highest potential of moon Chiron synastry, is this real divine mother, divine feminine, nurturing energy can come through. Now, with the conjunction and sometimes the hard aspects, it doesn't always manifest as healing. It manifests as being triggered in pain and like feeling like you need your mother and this person is not offering support. So there's many different manifestations of what can happen here. Now, positively for the Chiron person, the moon person can be a catalyst to a great awakening because the moon person just naturally embodies without trying. I mean, it's just so instinctual what they are here to really master and learn and be triggered by, but be triggered into greater awareness and healing. And Chiron, its sign placement, its house placement, shows a lot about our healing gifts in the world and what we're really here to give as our like sacred healing medicine to the world. And depending on the sign in the house that this conjunction is taking place in, that sign's energy is like going through a transformation here, going through like a higher or a lower to higher, energy with this conjunction. So we can see some of the lower manifestations of that sign come out, or we can see some of the higher manifestations of that sign come out. So like, let's say it's in Leo, right? We could see, two people behaving very selfish or, wanting to steal the spotlight from each other and never feeling like they're getting enough attention. And it's like, the negative qualities of Leo, right? Or on the higher side, and sometimes maybe we're going to go through kind of a walk, like up the staircase of both, starting at the lower and then we maybe make our way to the higher form of expression here. But, on the higher side in Leo, this conjunction would show two people that really help each other shine and really see each other's creativity and honor it and support it and, light that fire for each other, right? That is like the higher aspect of Leo, like pure, divine, inner child creativity, right? That ripples out and like shines a light on all the dark places of the world. So you could see how like going through each sign, how this would manifest, and how it can manifest negatively or how it could manifest positively. But either way, however it manifests, you can guarantee that both people feel a lot in this relationship. This is a very emotional bond. This is not a light-hearted relationship. This is something where there's feels. Feels are triggered, all the feels, right? It's very deep, it's very emotional, and it can also be sort of telepathic. Like this can be the kind of relationship where you think of this person and they're thinking of you too, and like, or you're about to reach out and phone them and they phone you, right? This is a telepathic aspect to have, because they are really similar. Although the Chiron person has a little bit more difficulty getting to the place of that sign that is healthy, when they do, and also like the moon sign is not always a totally healthy manifestation either, right? We can be our moon sign in its most negative traits, and it's very easy to do that because it's unconscious to us. So they can be very similar in a negative way, and they can be very similar in a positive way. And a lot will depend with this conjunction on choices of the individuals. How are they going to act? How are they going to express this energy? And, a lot will depend on like soul involvement and connection and how they're already expressing that energy before being in this relationship. In a romantic relationship, this is a very nurturing relationship. This is, there could be even like, cooking for each other and like mothering each other in that way. Like this is kind of like a, I get the vibe. It's like a healed Cancerian type relationship with Moon conjunct Chiron. There's a potential for that kind of nurturing and relational intimacy when we have Moon Chiron aspect. Specifically, the conjunction is the most powerful aspect that you can have, and so Moon themes are just really up here. And fourth house stuff, whatever you've been repressing to do with your upbringing and your early life and your mother is going to come up with this relationship. And it can be incredibly deep, incredibly valuable and beneficial, and also so painful and hard to be emotionally neutral about. You can have a really hard time being emotionally neutral about someone when you have Moon Chiron aspects in Synastry. It's just very deep and triggering, and yeah. But this one can manifest very positively, and like I've described, like with each sign, you kind of, I mean, the Chiron person, a lot depends on them, really. You know, how are they going to react to the moon person? And the Chiron person, if they are, you know, in a more healed place with their Chiron wound, healed, not that we're ever truly fully healed, but, you know, if there's more awareness of it, they can act as a healer for the moon person. And they can be the one that heals the moon person's emotions. And so you can actually see kind of even a reversal of what I've said. It's like with the conjunction, you have to look at where both people are at in their own healing journey or their own emotional journey with this one. But yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this conjunction in Synastry. If you've had it, what was it like for you? I'd love to know. And thank you for your requests, you guys. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.